Okay, as promised, I'm right back. We're ready to go. So I think my number one priority is I want to get rid of this rogue figure because she wasn't able to look for a clue because this thing was distracting her and it damaged her on top of it. She's not our best attacker in the world, but we did take the knife. And remember I told you I thought that the knife would be used less often, but when it is used, it would be great. And this is one of those situations. So we can attack with her, or I can have Ashcan Pete come over and help, or I can have, what's his name up there, try to help. But I think we're going to just try to attack with her. She does get +2 to her attack with this knife, and we're going to just do that. So right now, she's going to attack. She has a 2 strength, and then she'll get 2 more from this, so she'll get to roll 4 dice. This thing only has 1 hit point, so I'm hoping between the 4 dice, we're going to succeed. Now, one thing I'm realizing is I definitely don't have a place to roll dice without trampling over other stuff, but I'm going to just roll right here. And right here, off the camera, is 1, and then there's 1 here. So she actually would have done 2 damage to it, but she only needed 1 to kill it. So she actually did kill the rogue figure. And yeah, she doesn't get anything for it. And I'll just put that on top of the monster deck. And that was her first action. Second action is she definitely wants to stay in this area because by staying in this area, she's going to be able to search for a clue. So now she's just looking at, okay, here she can get a remnant or an item if she passes these tests. And those tests are actually, she has 2 will and 3 lore, so she might actually do pretty well there. The other thing she can do is she could focus and then let somebody else focus, right? And that means she's staying in that location, or she can move. And then remember, her ability is she can give an action. Whatever she does, she gets to give to someone else. So I'm trying to think of what other things do I want to give to the other players. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus with her and then let Ashcan Pete also focus along with her. Because Ashcan Pete doesn't get to focus as part of his ability. So she's going to, let's check out her card here. She already has a lore focus. She's allowed to have 2 total focus. And then she has 4 influence, which is amazing. Her observation is a little low. Her strength is low, but this makes up for it. And her will is low. The will, of course, is going to possibly cause her to take damage here, but she's pretty high, 7 points there. I'm actually going to make her observation go up because if she gets clue tokens, we need to be able to put them on the scenario card. So we're going to get her to do that. Then we're going to go over to Ashcan here. We did improve this because we wanted to. His strength is a 4 if you add in Duke. He's well-rounded. He has 3s and everything. So, take your pick on where you want your bonus. And I think we either want to do strength because you never want to lose to a monster. You always want to kill those dang monsters. So we either want to do strength or maybe lore, or even the observation wouldn't be bad. His sanity is, he has a low value there. So maybe we want to do will. And I'm looking over at his... Oh, I have no idea what to do with him. So what we'll do is we'll do... Yeah, we're going to just take a will. That might help him. And she's done with her turn. So now we have 2 other people. I have Ashcan here. And this is a dilemma that comes up often. This location up here has a doom. So he wants to go and remove that doom, pandemic style. But the location itself, you can sell a remnant for money. He has no remnant, so chances are the encounter is going to be crap for him. Whereas the train station actually has some pretty decent stuff he can get if he stays there. So it's a debate. What's more important, to do the train station or to remove the doom? And my recommendation in the few games I've played is remove the Doom. And who cares what the encounter does? The only reason he's staying in this neighborhood is because there's a clue there now. So let's just go up. That's going to be his move action. And then he's going to try to remove that Doom. He has 3 lore. So we got 2 successes. And so the Doom goes away. And those were his 2 actions. He moved, he did a ward. So now we go to Mr. Mcglinn, and he's going to move 1, 2 to Velma's Diner, and then we're going to try to ward. So he has only 2 lore. This isn't his forte, but he actually succeeded. We're defying odds right now with our rolls, and all 3 of them have taken a turn. So I'm technically supposed to flip them over. I didn't do that. Oh, and then after you defeat a monster as part of an attack action, you recover 1 sanity or focus 1 skill. So technically speaking, he would have focused another skill, but he can only have 1 focus, so we're fine. I missed that when he killed a monster. Okay, so we are done with that. Now we go to the monster phase. There are no monsters. So let me pull this up. There's no monsters, so we skip that whole phase, and then we go to encounter. And you might be thinking, boy, this seems like a pretty easy game so far. I think it's because we drew a lot of really nice tokens. I mean, we drew 2 clue tokens and 2 blank tokens. I mean, when you're drawing tokens like that out of the Mythos phase, of course it's nice. That means there's nothing but bad stuff left in the bag. So let's do the encounter. And I'm just going to do, in order here, Maria is in this zone. So she's on the unvisited isle of the Merchant District. So grab the Merchant District card and unvisited isle. The hut seems deserted. And by the way, if you'll notice, this is gray. Normally it's green. This is a clue card. And the other way you can know, right here in the top corner. See the clue? So this is our clue card that we're trying to get. The hut seems deserted except for a trinket on the table. You gain 1 curio item. Ooh. All right, a series of names and dates is... Okay, so let's stop there. Let's gain the curio item and show you how that works. The rules are pretty clear on this. What you can do is you can gain any curio item that's here, or you can draw from the item deck until you get the first one in the deck. So looking at this knife is a curio item. See how it says the keyword curio in there? So that's one of the things. She already has a knife though, although it's one-handed, and she can actually have 2 hands. So that knife could help her. This is a curio tome, and she gets +2 observation as a research action. I really like that. And it's a $3 one, so it's nice to get these expensive ones for free. This is a curio item. It's $4. Once per round, you may pay half price while buying an item. I like it, but I don't like it. Leather coat, another curio. You get +1 observation as part of an evade. That's pretty handy. And I highly doubt this is a curio item. It's not. Okay, so there's no keyword curio on here, so you're not going to be able to get dynamite. Now, we could draw from the top of the deck and get something random, but I actually like this. Occult scripture. I think that's perfect for her. So we're going to get +2 observation as part of a research action. So I'm going to go ahead and just give that to her. And we grabbed an observation exactly for that reason. We wanted her to have a higher value, so she would actually get to roll 5 dice. And now let's keep reading our card. A series of names and dates is scratched on the door, so we have to check lore. And if you pass, you notice a correlation between them and events throughout Arkham's history, you gain a clue. So we have to pass our lore check. Our lore is 3 + 1. It's 4. So we're going to get to roll 4 dice, and let's do that right now. And to pass, you just need 1 pass. It doesn't, there's sometimes like when you're fighting monsters, every pass does a damage. In this case, you just need 1 of your dice to pass. So we passed. Well done. So this clue becomes ours, and this will go into the discard pile here, okay? So that means the unstable location is changing to the river docks. Now, what would have happened if I failed? If I would have failed, it actually gets shuffled back in, and you do the exact same thing as if you drew a new clue token. I would draw the top 2 cards of that deck and then shuffle this in amongst the top 2. So if you ever draw a clue and you fail, it doesn't go away. It gets shuffled back into the deck as if you were drawing a new clue token for the first time. And then what we do is we grab this clue token here, and it now becomes part of her inventory. Well done. We're well on our way. So now let's go to Ashcan, and he is in the, I think that's north side, Arkham advertiser. So I'm going to put this down, and let's draw a north side card. The Arkham advertiser, see how it's red? It's not gray. This is not, and there's no clue up here, so this is just a normal card. Chewing his cigar, Editor Doyle Jeffries stalks through the newsroom. Where the hell was everybody today? You there, Doyle calls out to you, blowing smoke in your face. You looking for a job, friend? You gain a reporting gig. See, all cap letters, that's a unique item. So we're very happy because we didn't have any remnants to sell. So this was a much better outcome for us. So we get a reporting gig, and so we just have to find one. Oh boy, where are you, reporting gig? And of course, I may have, there we go. So it's a talent. You get +1 observation as part of a research action. After you gain a clue, you get $2. All right, I'm not gonna complain about that. That's actually pretty nice. And we're getting a lot of bonuses to our research actions. I'm very happy with that too. Okay, but we didn't get the clue. I still think that was an awesome outcome. And now we go to Mr. Mcglinn. He's at Velma's Diner there on the east side. So I'm gonna put this back down. I got some tokens that are interfering with my tripod here. There we go. Okay, so let's go to the east town. And it is Velma's Diner. Velma makes you the best steak and potatoes you've ever tasted. You or an ally recovers 2 health. Okay, very important. Ally is not another character or player. Ally are these blue cards. Those are allies. So like this one here would be, you know, Lewis Hayes. He would be your ally. Okay, very, very important. The ally would gain the health, not another character. I think when I was at the convention or the Arkham Knights, people were screwing that up. And so don't screw that up. So automatically we would get 2 health. Well, there's no damage. And Marie has damage, but remember, she's not an ally. She's just another character. So I don't get the benefit from this. One of my servers quit on me, says Velma. Could you fill in for me? Negotiation. If you pass, you become a server at Velma's. If you fail, you not so politely decline the offer. Okay. So our influence, just a real reminder, is 3. So that's actually pretty good. So let's roll 3 and see if we can get a pass. And of course, what's our rule here? I'm going to assume that that is a pass. You know, because it wasn't that unobvious. And anyways, it's a pass. So now we get server at Velma's. Oh, very last card. After you perform a gather resources action in the east side neighborhood, test negotiation. If you pass, you get an extra $2. It's not that great. I do have a dice tower. I could try to set that up. Let me move this East Town deck. We'll just make room over here. And I'm going to grab my dice tower. See if that helps us. How well can the camera peek into that? I think that's pretty good. The only drawback is the east side, as you can see, is now hidden quite a bit. But I think we can make this work. The other thing we can do, actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna move some more cards here. And we'll put it sideways like that. And then just put these cards up like so. Okay, now I think we're good. And then we can just make sure you can see into there. And if I were to put this down, actually that's a good angle. Okay, we can do that. We can do this. All right, so we are done with this. And so I'm going to put this on the bottom of the deck. Sorry, trying to do all that with one hand. Okay, we are now in the Mythos Face. So again, I'm just gonna start with Marie and just move our way, through the characters. So Marie's gonna draw 2. And there's 1 and there's 2. Are you able to see? Yes. Okay, so this one, obviously nothing happens. And then the other one, we're gonna draw Doom. So I'm going to draw from the back, drawn from the back, and we get a Doom on the TikTok Club. So the Doom token is going to go on the TikTok Club right here. Okay. Next up is Ashcan Pete. So we're going to put this away. I'm reaching into the bag. I'm realizing the bags is probably not the best idea with a solo game like this. So I'm going to use this as a cup. I use this on all my war games. It's easier to reach in and grab 2 with one hand. So here we go. Okay, 2 that you've never seen before. This is going to spawn a monster. And so the monster spawn is actually going to be on the front. That's what that's for. So I'm going to draw the front, and the monster will spawn at the unstable location, which is Independent Square. So I'm going to put this down, and Independent Square is going to get the bottom monster, which is this guy, the High Priest. And he has, oh, actually, I'm sorry. I don't draw that. Spawn at the most Doom. So we have 3 Doom spots, right? They each have 1. And so when there's a tie, the players get to decide. And if they can't agree, the leader decides. Since I'm playing this by myself, if I ever get in a situation where I can't agree with myself, then just shoot me. But obviously I'm explaining the rule in case you're playing with other players. So we're gonna spawn at the most Doom, and it is a lurker, which means he's not looking for anybody. He's totally happy just staying where he's at. And every time the monsters activate, he places a Doom in his location. So if you want to ignore him, he'll just keep placing Doom there for the rest of the game. Now, obviously, we have one character we tailor-built in this game for the sole purpose of killing. So guess which Doom we're going to spawn him at? Right there. So Mr. Mcglinn is ready to do some typing. He's very excited about that opportunity. Do some nice typing. Okay, and then the next one is this, and that's the Reckoning effect. And I don't think anybody has a Reckoning effect on their personal items. So the only Reckoning effect we have that's active in the game is this one. It says, for each cultist monster, place a Doom in its space. And I'm pretty sure this guy's a cultist. The High Priest is a human cultist. See that right there? So he is a cultist, so another Doom token is going to show up there as a result of that Reckoning effect. All right, so that's it. That's for his turn. And now we get to Michael Mcglinn. He's going to draw his 2. And we have a Doom and a monster spawn. So first, let's do the Doom. The Doom is going to be at Hibbs Roadhouse, which, Hibbs Roadhouse is right here. And that just triggered a rule in the game. There's 3 Doom in one space, so we now have an anomaly. So we got to get rid of those 3 Doom in order to remove the anomaly. Next, we have a monster spawn. And so we draw from the bottom of the monster deck. So let me do that. And we have a Swift, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Swift Byaki. This is why I don't like Cthulhu. I mean, these things, I can't identify with them. I mean, what's it supposed to be? God only knows. Okay, spawn at most doom. So, and this is a hunter that will move towards and engage whoever has the lowest observation. There is no limit to monsters, and the most doom is actually, there is only one place with most doom, so they're right there. So Mr. Mcglinn is going to have a lot of fun typing. Okay, that's it. Now we move on to the next round. So I just did that one in 20 minutes. The first one we did in 40. So as you can tell, I don't need to explain as much, and we can fly through it pretty quick. It's really not a bad pace game. Although I will tell you, at multiplayer, some people took forever, and I did want to strangle them, but that's okay. They were nice people. It just, they took a long time. So you just have to make sure you have your beer and pretzels with you and have a good time. Okay, so we got a lot to do. I always have to think about, like, what bonus action do I want her to give to other people? And what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to start with Mcglinn, and we're going to move for one action and attack for the other. And obviously when we get here, this Swift Byaki is going to engage with him, and that's fine. There's no harm in that. And then he can choose to kill something, and he's going to actually attack the High Priest. Or which one's he going to attack? Because we can look at him here. The Swift Byaki does 1 damage and 1 sanity, okay? Has 3 hit points. The High Priest does just 1 damage. So he's going to actually attack the Swift Byaki right now. So we're going to do that. And you can see here the Swift Byaki has no penalty to your strength dice. This is only if you're trying to evade. And we have to get 3 hits. Okay, so I'm going to set myself up here. And remember, we get 8 dice. So here's 4 of them. And I have 1, 2, 3 hits right there. That is pretty sweet. So we only... I didn't do that on purpose. Okay, so Swift Byaki's already dead, and I'm very happy with that. And now see here, see that little picture there? That's a little tentacle. It always looks like a gear to me, but it's actually a tentacle. That's one of these Remnant Tokens. So McGee gets one of these Remnant Tokens. That's the reward for it. And it says here, reward. After you defeat this monster as part of an attack action, you may disengage all monsters and move up. So I can disengage the High Priest, for example. But I don't want to. I want to kill the High Priest. So I'm going to stay right there and engage him so he doesn't put more doom in our space. So what stinks, though, is what I wanted to do was have him do a ward action, because she's going to do a ward action, right? She's going to try to get rid of Doom and then let him also get rid of Doom. Well, if you're engaged to a monster, you can't get rid of Doom. You can only focus, attack, or evade. Those are the only actions you can do. And so if she tries to give him an action, remember, her skill says normal action restrictions still apply. So this is a situation where we can't have him get rid of those ward tokens. So that stinks. But I am going to have the High Priest stay engaged, because otherwise the High Priest puts another Doom down. And I'd rather because if he puts another Doom down while that anomaly is there, it goes on the scenario card. So I would rather take the damage that he does to me and stay engaged. Like I said, I had the ability to run away because that was the reward for killing that other thing. But we're not going to do that. So he's done with his turn. So we flip this over. And now we're going to move to these two. She could at least, she's going to move and just try to, ward. So her lure is 4. So we're just going to roll 4. And you can see there's 2 successes. So she only needed 1. So we got rid of this. And that's her 2 actions. She can give an action to somebody else. And I guess she'll give a move action. She's going to give a move action to Mr. Mcglinn. Because Mr. Mcglinn, if he performs a move action, he can deal 2 damage to one monster he's engaged with. But there's 2 damage also put on the car. Well, this monster is engaged with him and only has 2 health. So that's what he's going to do. So he's going to go ahead and go, I guess, to the police station here as part of his move. And he's going to kill the priest in the process. So the priest won't even get to attack him. And there's no, oh, here we go, reward. After you defeat this monster, you gain a spell. Oh, but that's part of an attack action. We're not doing an attack action. So no spell for you. That's okay. He's not a spellcaster anyways. But we just killed a monster, and we do have to put 2 damage on our car. But that's okay. That's what old boiler's for. So we just trying to imagine a high priest clung to his radiator as we run him over. And he rolls underneath the car. So very cool. Very, very funny. Okay, so that is her action. And now we got Ashcan Pete up there. There's no ward tokens. There's nothing for him to do. He does have the ability to focus one more time. But what he's going to do is he's going to move to the train station because that's the most helpful to him if he gets one of these actions. So that's one action. But his other action is he's going to scrounge. He's going to do the resource gather thing. So let's put this down because there's a lot that goes on. The first thing that happens is he gets a buck. That's because of that's what resource gathering does. Then it says that he can get an item from the item stash for $2 or less. Now I'm going to just grab the items that are $2 or less and bring it to the camera, and there's only one. It's the knife, and he'll take it. So he now has a knife in his hand, and this one is now being added. Liquid Courage. So this is another one he could eventually get. Okay, and then his guitar lets him a number of investigators in your neighborhood equal to your negotiation may each recover 1 sanity or focus a skill. Now it says a number of investigators in your neighborhood. That includes yourself. So he has a focus of 3. He has 2 tokens. So you're going to take 1 more focus. Which one will he take is the question. We don't need to take observation anymore. He already has 3, and he has an item that gives him +2 when he researches. I think to make him the most well-rounded, I mean, he's going to get bonuses to his strength from Duke. We're going to take 1 lore. We're going to take a lore. So he's at his maximum focus now. But I still think he's pretty powerhouse right now. For a promo guy, I think he's doing great. This guy, by the way, is most beneficial being in spaces with other players or neighborhoods. And right now we're just spread all across the town, which I think is the right thing to do. But I think he's going to be more helpful if you're playing a 6-player game. Not as good in a 3-player. But he was perfect on that first turn. And I still think his scrounging ability is pretty neat. It's not like we're losing the game at the point. Okay, so we get to the monster phase, nothing happens, and now we're going to do the cup. We're going to start with her, and we are on the final 2 items in the cup. And I can tell you one of them is the really, 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 really bad one, so we're going to definitely get it, and we are. And so I'm going to, the bad one's first, and then that's second. Okay, so we are dealing with this. This is called a gate burst. Okay, the gate burst is what's happening. That's what that symbol's for. That's for the gate burst. So when we get a gate burst, On the back, it'll tell you, take the top card of the event deck, place 1 Doom token in every space of the neighborhood, and then shuffle the card into the discard pile and place it on the bottom. So here's what that means. So we're going to take this top card, which is the downtown card, and so there's going to be a Doom token. We're going to grab 3 of them. And the good news is downtown was clean. So 1 Doom token goes in every space in downtown. This is usually when the anomalies appear, right? Because we're putting a Doom token in every space. And this would have been the absolute worst one to get a gate burst. Okay, so downtown gets 3. And then what it's saying next is you just take the card and you put it in the discard pile, and then you have to shuffle all of them. And what it's trying to tell you is this is that pandemic mechanic you might have heard me say a video or so ago. So after you shuffle it, you take this deck and you put them in the back. So they're going to be at the bottom of the deck now. All those cards that were here, and we already drew Doom for them, they're now going to be drawn again for Doom again and later. So there's a good chance that Doom's going to show up in the same spots that we already drew Doom in the past. So I know I said that that's the worst one. It is the worst one because this puts a lot of Doom on the board, and it could really create a lot of anomalies and trouble. But we actually got pretty lucky. And then we get a headline, so let's do that. So draw the next headline card. Add this card, okay. Trade unionists added again. Food necessities affected are unions communist. Headline, rumor. Add this card to the codex and discard all other rumor headlines. The value of each item in the display is increased by 2 for as long as this card is in the codex. Before you would buy 1 or more items from the display, you may test your negotiation -1. If you pass, you ignore this card this round. By the way, if you ever get to a 0 or lower, you always get to roll at least 1 die. You can never go to 0. 1's the lowest you can go. Okay, so what that just simply means is Ashcan's ability where he gets to take an item for $2 or less, all those items are now worth $2 more, and he would have to roll an influence check, which is just 2 dice for him. If he passes, he can ignore this. Otherwise, this stays on top until we get another rumor that replaces it. So it's a little annoying. There's a possibility there's no more rumors in the entire deck. Okay, so she's done. And now one mechanic that you've not seen yet is the cup's empty. Okay, so we take all the chips and we just put them all back in the cup. And making sure I got them all. And then we're going to start over. So it just keeps going over and over again. So now we do Ashcan. And he gets another one. And a monster spawns. All right, so let's draw a monster here. The Abyssal Servant. Okay, it says spawn at street nearest prey. Okay, and then his prey is he moves towards and engages the investigator with the most clues. That would be Marie. She's the only one with a clue. So we get to pick the street. We can put it, and I'm going to pick this street because I think Ashcan can fight it, and we can get rid of it that way. But that thing is going to go towards her. And I'm realizing something. I skipped the encounter phase, didn't I? I'm doing the Mythos Face. I did monsters, and then I just skipped right over encounters. We need to do encounters for everybody, but that's okay. We're going to just draw some more. And these are the 2 I drew for him. So now we got another monster spawning, and we have another gate burst. So 2 in the same round. The monster that's spawning is the Blooded Stalker. Spawn at the most doom. Well, that's easy. That's going here. And he's a hunter. He's going to engage whoever has the lowest strength. That's all the way on the other end of the map. Then we do another gate burst. So the gate burst is going to be in north side. Okay. And then, of course, it would cause a shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. There is nobody else to shuffle, so this is just going to go in the back. Well, north side is up there. So good news again. The dooms that appear did not cause any more anomalies. Okay, so I totally recognize I got ahead of myself. We were supposed to resolve encounters with everybody. And so just imagine that we hadn't done these other things, but there's really nothing that's going to impact our encounters. No extra doom showed up here. This is the only place where the doom would have impacted the encounter. And so let's start with him, because I want to show you how that works. He is in a location with a clue, but see that anomaly that's there? That anomaly is going to force us to draw this card instead. So let's do that. I'll put this down. Okay, and now I have to count how many, how much horror, or I'm sorry, how much doom does he have? He has 3 there, and that 3 was there, long before we did our token draws. So we have to read the bottom one here. This close to the fissure, people are walking backwards and leaves are falling up towards the trees. So we have to do a lore -1. His lore is 2. So a -1 is, he's only going to get to roll 1 die. So it's either pass or fail. And oh my gosh, I know you can see it from the camera, but I'm going to move it closer. That's a pass. Wow, he has been rolling amazing. If you pass, you force time to run forward again. You remove 2 doom from your space and gain 1 remnant. If you fail, you age at a crippling pace, suffering 3 damage. Here's what stinks. It says from your space. Since we moved with the car to kill that priest, there's no doom in our space. So we removed nothing, but we did gain a remnant, which I guess is something. So 1 more remnant being added to his inventory. So might have been nice if he was actually in the space with the doom. Okay, so that's it for him. He's done, and now we're going to move on to her. She's in the merchant district, and there's no clue there, but she still gets to draw the card, and so she's at the TikTok club. You trade bar tricks with another patron and draw up a crowd. See if you can figure out this next one, he says, and it's observation. Her observation is 2 plus 1 because of this. That's 3. And this one only gives bonus if it's research, which this isn't. So she's going to get to roll 3 dice. And you can see it better than I can. There's a success. So if you pass, he pays for your meal. You or an ally recover 3 health. She actually has a damage, so she's going to recover 1 health. So that part's cool. All right, so if you fail, you'll have to buy your own meal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so so that's her encounter. And then we're going to do Ashcan Pete. And he's at the train station in Northtown. An unseen assailant shoves into your back, propelling you onto the tracks. So we have to check our will. His will is 3 plus a focus, so he has 4. And right there it is, pass. If you pass, you calmly grab a stranger's outstretched hand and heave yourself to safety. You gain 1 ally. If you fail, you blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we gain an ally, which is good. I like allies. Allies are always awesome. And Duke is getting a little jealous, but we tell Duke he's always #1 for us. So we're going to grab an ally, which is this card. And it is Jenica Capra. After you defeat a monster as part of an attack action, you may remove 1 doom from your space. Okay, but more importantly, she can take damage for you, which is pretty nice. Okay, that is the end of the round. My apologies that I skipped a encounter phase. So we're at the end of round, I believe 3 we've done. We did 2 rounds in the same amount of time it took us to do the first round. And I hope you're still finding this interesting, and I'm going to keep going, but I will take a break, and thank you for watching.